going on, everyone? It's Sierra Proctor from SierraProctor.com. Thank you so much for tuning into this video today. Today, I don't have a little intro piece, so we're going to jump right into the content, but make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and make sure that you are on the mailing list so that you can stay informed about everything that we have going on. Today, we're going to talk about how to legally set up your business in 5 easy steps. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Step number 1 is to determine the legal structure that your business needs. Legal structures are extremely important because they offer certain protections and offer financial benefits as well as operate under different tax regulations. So make sure that you are informed about all of the legal structures that are out there before you start your business so that you don't have to go back and have any legal issues or any tax issues, and to make sure that you are making the most money and getting the most out of your business. Let's go ahead and get into a few of the most common structures. First, we have sole proprietorships, which are owned and operated by one person. There is no legal distinction between the business and the operator and owner. So what this means is that the owner and operator reaps all benefits of the profits. However, they are personally liable for all debts of the company. Next, we have partnerships, which is similar to sole proprietorships. However, they are owned by multiple people, which are called partners, and the profits and debts are dispersed amongst the partners in the partnership. However, in some entities, some partners may have limited liability, and this is all worked out when the entity is formed. Next, we have limited liability corporations, or LLCs, and this is a hybrid structure between partnerships and corporations. So with an LLC, you provide all of the owners limited liability, which is very good because it means that the debts are not always held personally against the owners. They can also electively use certain corporation tax benefits. And the purpose of a limited liability corporation is to act in favor of its members. So you'd be operating in order to produce profits for all of your members in the LLC. Next, we have corporations, and corporations are a little bit different because they are regulated under corporate laws, which can change based on your jurisdiction. And they also provide limited liability to shareholders, which is a little bit different from LLCs. We have shareholders instead of members. And the purpose of a corporation is to act in favor of its shareholders. Also, in addition to this, there are different designations for corporations. There is a C Corp designation and an S Corp designation, and they have different laws that they must operate under, especially with tax regulations. Now, this is something that will require a little bit more research in depth because you'll want to see what is most beneficial for your company. Moving along to step number 2, you want to select a suitable name. Your business name is an outward reflection of your company. So you want to make sure to select a name that suits your company's values and its personality. So let's go through the process of selecting a name. First, you want to research any naming restrictions for your jurisdictions. Sometimes your jurisdiction may not allow you to have certain names or titles within your company's name because it can suggest something to your consumers and it may not be allowed. So just make sure that you are aware of any naming restrictions that are out there for your jurisdiction. Second, you want to come up with 3 to 5 suitable names. And if you're in a partnership or you have multiple members acting in your company, make sure that you are getting the input of all of your members and come up with 3 to 5 names that you all would be okay with. Now, after you've come up with these 3 to 5 names, you want to determine if the name is even available. So usually they'll have a database in your jurisdiction which tells you whether or not that name is taken or not. So make sure that you go and look and see if your name is taken or not. Now, this is the 4th step, and it's more so a tip. You don't have to follow this, but I wish that I had done this when I was creating the name to my first business. you want to research the domain name and its availability, okay? Because sometimes the name that you have selected already has a domain attached to it. So when someone Googles it or searches for it, your company won't be the first thing that comes up because it's, not directly associated with its domain name. And then you have to go and search for something that's not exactly your brand name. It's just a variation of it, and it's just not good for consistency purposes. So 5th, you want to register your name in the state of operation. So when you go to actually file your business name, you're going to want to file it in the state or jurisdiction that you are forming the entity in. So let's say that you are going to be filing your business entity in Maryland. You're going to want to file the name in Maryland as well. So obviously I can't go over how to do that in every single state, but if you just Google whatever state that you're trying to do in business name filing, it'll come up and give you all of the steps as well as the paperwork that you need to file for application. Step number 3 is to actually create the entity. So after you've determined the necessary structure and you've selected the name and filed for the name, you want to actually go ahead and create the entity. So creating your business entity will require you to file necessary paperwork in the state of formation. A tip that I've learned along the way is to actually research the states that you are considering filing your entity in. Although it may be most cost effective to file in the state that you live in, it may not provide the most benefits legally or tax wise. So for me, I live in Maryland, but I filed in Nevada. So I did incur a foreign filing fee, and I did have to find a registered agent that would serve as that for me. So I pay them annually to do that. However, the protections and the financial benefits far outweigh the cost associated with foreign filing. So I say all of this to encourage you to research those protections before filing. On to step 4, we want to make sure that we are legally allowed to operate our business. So this means that we need to obtain necessary licenses and permits. So to ensure that your business is in compliance with the state and federal laws, you need to make sure that your licenses and permits are up to date and that you have all of the ones relevant to your business. I have gone on to list some of the most important licenses and permits. There are more, but obviously I don't have enough space or time to list them. So these are just the ones that I thought were the most important. So first, make sure that you have your employer identification number or your EIN. This is really important when it comes to actually setting up your finances. So a lot of times if you want to open up a bank account and you want to file your taxes separately from your person, you want to have the EIN, because this will allow you to do that and operate financially separate and independent from yourself. Okay, and it's really easy to get an EIN. You just file the necessary paperwork with the IRS and they send you an EIN. You also want to make sure that you have the necessary licenses and permits to charge sales taxes. And you also need regulatory permits and licenses. So anything you need from the health department or any type of zoning, coding, permits that you need, make sure that you have those. And if you have any occupational or professional license that you need, like say cosmetology license, tattooing licenses, whatever it may be, just make sure that you do the research and make sure that you have those licenses, because once you're actually up and running, you don't want to risk getting shut down because you do not have the permits, because it's very expensive to get yourself out of these situations. Not to mention it shuts down your operation for a certain amount of time until you get those necessary licenses and permits. And finally, step number 5, consider getting insurance. Although when you're starting up your business, it may seem really costly to get insurance, think about all of the assets that you potentially could lose in a fire or due to possible damage, and you may want to get those things replaced. or at least be reimbursed in some way, as well as protecting your employees. Just make sure that you're considering it. You might not need it for your business, so if you don't need it, don't get it. But if you do need it, make sure that you get it, or at least have it built into your business plan to get it once you have enough money to cover those insurance costs. Before we close out this video, let's go over those 5 easy steps one more time. First, you want to pick a structure. Second, you want to select a name. Third, you will create the entity. Fourth, you're going to obtain necessary licenses and permits. And fifth, you're going to consider getting insurance. Okay, these are really easy steps that you can take. All of these things can be done in as little as 30 days. So there's really no excuse for your business operating illegally. Okay, make sure that you do this. Protect yourself from the IRS. Make sure that you're getting those financial benefits that you deserve for your company. And if you have any additional questions, please drop me a comment or shoot me an email, and I will definitely answer that question for you. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thank y'all so much for watching until the end of the video. I can't wait to discuss the next topic with you all, so please make sure that you are tuned in for that next video. I can't wait to release another video for you all. All right, make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and make sure that you are on the mailing list for SierraProctor.com. Thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your week.